we are about to embark on another season. What's what's your general feel headed into this season?
To better ourselves. Here we enter in our fourth season, and to recognize the things that we didn't do very well, and then to recruit two players, personnel that could help us improve in those areas. For us, starts with our offense. The ability to generate points, big play opportunity, to be steady at the helm at the quarterback position. I think for the first time since in our tenure, we've had quantity and a number of guys that are viable to take the leadership role in a serious competitive battle there. And so to complement it with guys on the perimeter that can run and catch and make big plays for us. We haven't had that from our offense since we've been here. So our intentions are very deliberate from an offensive standpoint to create big plays, to create touchdowns for our team. From a defensive standpoint, those same guys that were here from the beginning, the Balin Baker, the King Newton, the Eric Banks, Solomon Wise, it's their turn. They've grown up. They've played a lot as true freshmen. And some of those guys in their senior year, some in their redshirt freshman year, are ready to bud. And so I think we're at a point where we have an opportunity to field our best team that we've had in our tenure here.
How's the evaluation of the roster and the depth chart changed through the offseason? What have you kind of learned, or what have you noticed looking back at all the time?
Well, spring was fantastic. An opportunity to go compete, to give guys opportunity to improve themselves, and I thought we did that. The summer has been one from a strength and conditioning standpoint, from a speed and agility standpoint, to improve and hone in on their skill set that is position specific. I think fall camp in the early parts will give us a chance to identify that and how much that have transitioned from a spring to a summer to a fall camp, which will then lead us into a preparation of a season. So 2 weeks or a week before kickoff, I think we'll know exactly who our team is. Here's what I know about our team right now. They're eager. I think we're more cohesive than we've ever been. The unity, the constant culture that you hear or talk that you hear in our building is, this is our year. We're better now. We're together now. I like our team. And when players start to say that, and it disseminates through the building, that's always a good thing. Because no matter how talented you are, if you don't come together as a team, it doesn't matter. And I think we're closer as a team than we've ever been before.
What did it mean to you to see Josh get tapped for an all-conference selection?
Yeah, I think he's worthy. I think he gives us what we look for at the offensive line position. Somebody who's steady, somebody who's bright-minded, somebody who's tough. I think he's very deserving of it. I think his improvement have been leaps and bounds from the moment he stepped on this campus. And I think he's very much worthy. And at the end of the season, we'll reap the benefits because of his hard work and diligence.
What does he bring from a leadership perspective to your team?
Outlook, maturity, a no-nonsense demeanor, a guy who takes ball serious but don't take himself too serious. That he is a locker room guy, he is a team guy, but yet understand the importance of what we're trying to get accomplished here.
Being picked to finish fifth in the West as a team, what was your reaction?
Yeah, didn't know that until you just said it. We've been pretty high at times, we've been pretty low at times. At the end of the day, August 31st will dictate, where that compass, if you will take us. It's probably fair considering the way that we played or finished the year. I think we have a much to improve on, but I think our team is in position and poised to do that.
Since we last talked, there was the announcement that the indoor practice facility is going to break ground in November. What was your reaction to that?
Excited. It's a game changer for us. To be able to recruit to be able to accommodate our student athletes in something that they're deserving of, something that's been in the making for quite some time now. I think it's important that when you're able to get kids on campus, or even the current ones that are on your campus, that they're able to see that the university has committed and invested in them as well.
Were there cases where it hurt you? You had to cancel or shorten practice just because you didn't have that kind of cover there that you might have now?
Yeah. There's times we're an AM practice team. There's times we've had to move it to the PM or move it inside of the gymnasium, our basketball arena, just to get the quality work in that we needed.
How much difference does that make to your recruits? Is that something you can really sell to them in this facility?
Yeah, I think it's important to them. You think about your target audience. They're 17, they're 18, they're 16. And it matters to them. The facilities matter. It matters to us to be able to accommodate them and give them the things that they need, especially from a sports medicine perspective when it comes to that.
What other things would you like to see, in terms of improvements as the program grows? Anything you have?
I think we're taking all the right steps. I think Dr. Amy is the right guy for us. I think he leads us in the right direction. I think Lisa Campos is fantastic with her outlook and her vision and leading athletics as a whole. And I think we're making the right strides and we're going in the right direction. So I like the direction of our university.
Frank, you mentioned Lisa at the end of the season last year. She kind of told the fans that she was behind you. She sent out a letter of support. What did that mean to you as far as trying to turn this thing around?
Yeah, I think it's important that when everything is going well and you're bowl qualified, everybody's behind you and patting you on the back. And when you have those tough times, those dark times, it's good to know that an administration is standing shoulder to shoulder, back to back with you, in support of you, understanding how we got to that position, where we need to go to that position, and our commitment to get us out of it. I think once you recognize what it is and you put things in place to get yourself out of that situation, it means a lot. I think sharing that vision with Lisa as well as Dr. Amy allowed us to be able to work hand in hand together cohesively to achieve it.
At the same time, do you kind of feel the pressure more this season to try and be able to turn it around than in previous seasons?
I think for us it's always pressure that we put on ourselves to try to improve. No one wants to conclude a season with 3 victories. And so not necessarily from fans, not necessarily from administration, although I know the expectations that are up there, and rightly so. They should be a standard. But I do think personally, I do think collectively as a staff, as a team, we have those same expectations for ourselves. So pressure from within to want to improve.
How do you feel like your facilities and resources now match up to the rest of the league?
Where we're at now or what we're going to get?
Where we're going to be in the year, I guess.
Yeah, where we're going to be, I think it'll allow us to be right up there with the upper echelon guys in our conference. When you make a grand plan like we did and to execute it, there's a lot that goes into it. And so you take trips to UAB, you take trips to North Texas, you go to those places and you see what they have, and you have comps, I guess, lack of better words, to be able to see the expectations of what some schools in our conference are, what they have, and you try to build something to allow yourself to be able to be competitive with them.
You guys have added Texas to the schedule now. What is the significance of that for you?
I think it's tremendously significant. I think anytime we can play our teams in the state of Texas bodes well for the state of Texas. I think when you have more key teams like Texas A&M, like Baylor, it enhances our brand. It broadens our brand globally, not just from a state or regional standpoint, but from a national standpoint. And so our desire is to be the best that we can be and maximize our potential. The only way that we can do that is to play people like that.
Was there an effort to get one of those games at home, or is it really important to be able to get that guarantee?
I didn't negotiate the contract. Administration did so. So we're happy. We're happy with the opportunity.
Coach Castle's his first year.
Yeah.
Offensive coordinator. What did you see? What did you see in the spring that you liked, and kind of what are the expectations from him going into the season?
Innovative, cutting edge, fresh ideas, open-minded. A guy who, those sayings, sometimes you look for love in all the wrong places and it's right there in front of you. And through the years, he's given input and have have advanced with advanced study, have given us information. But it's different when you're in the role of the coordinator opposed to a position coach. In one sense, it's a suggestion. In the other sense, it has a little more clout. I think now his voice is more resounding, and the things that he would like to see us do, the things that I would like to see us do. We've been together prior to me even becoming here. We worked together, of course, previously in our last job before we got to Texas, and so those conversations have been steady throughout the years, and it was about time. I thought he is primed to bud, if you will, but a guy who's extremely intelligent, that have a great outlook, that does extensive research and professional development with NFL teams, whether we're dealing with the Rams, whether we're dealing with Kansas City, just constantly looking for ways to improve himself, to improve us.
He did some stuff at LSU when the offensive coordinator was out for a little bit, right?
Yeah. He stepped in as a quarterback coach, at that point. And, he has a lengthy experience in, at a Division III school. He served as a coordinator. He played the position. He's coached the position. And he's the right guy for us at this time.
How do you feel about the state of the league at this point?
Very competitive. I think we have a good league, a very good league. You look at us from a bowl standpoint, boasting the highest, if not one of the highest winning percentage, 4-2 this year, what we've done over the last 5 years and how many teams have gone in our success. I think it speaks volumes of Conference USA and the quality of our football teams. I think they're well coached. I think we're a talented league with over 100-plus players in the National Football League. I think it's a very, very competitive football conference.
Do you think that that's a sign of what's to come for the league? Yeah. To go 4-2 like that, or is that a one-year spike and back, or do you see this league grow?
No, because when you look at the 5-6 year study, it's been over 60% winning in a bowl game series. I don't know if we've had a year. I know in my tenure, I don't think we've had a year where we were not on the winning side as a conference in a winning percentage. So, no, I don't think it's a one shot, only because we've done it over the last 5-6 years in this conference, have won, and I think it may be 62. Don't quote me exactly, 62 to 65% winning percentage. And I think you continue to look at, when the NFL draft comes, guys out of this league continues to get drafted, from various schools, no one school. And it speaks to the quality of players that are recruited, probably more importantly, the quality of players that are developed in this league.
It's kind of a dogfight out there with the Group of 5 leagues to try to scramble over the top of each other. You've got some games out there this year for this league that can potentially make a big difference in terms of the reputation and the stature of this league. Do those games become important for these teams in the league in general?
Yeah, I think they've always been important. I think at times they've been games that could be perceived from a financial standpoint to give some stability. But I think that narrative have changed. I think now there are games that teams in our conference can go out and win. You look at what happened a year ago down in Arkansas, and years in the past. Even a couple of years ago with Middle Tennessee, and it's just been year in and year out. Teams in this league have shown themselves well.
Do those games against the AAC mean a lot, considering the footprint's a little bit similar?
Every time you say AAC, I think you're talking about
Atlantic Coast.
Not the American. You're talking about American.
American,
yeah. I don't know, because I don't know how often we play those guys. We haven't been fortunate enough to play any of those teams.
Yeah.
We do a year from now. We'll get a chance to play Memphis, but Tulane and those guys toss. We haven't had a chance to play them. So I got to be honest, I'll have to defer because I don't know our conference and how we paired and how we've done against it. Do you know? Have we done well against the American League?
It's been kind of
about 50-50?
Yeah. North Texas plays SNU every year. They won it last year. Now they're going back down there 124-1 against SNU in Dallas. That's a big win this year. There's a couple others out there.
Yeah.
You have to see. What do you think about the West Division? I mean, this thing's kind of been a little bit wide open here. You kind of had some consistent contenders, but all of a sudden UAB kind of came out of nowhere last year.
Well, Gil did a great job. He did a great job with his team. I thought They did with their personnel, what they do best in running the football and showing the physicality and consistency of being able to do that with the various backs and outstanding offensive linemen and schematically. And they earned their way to the top of the West a year ago. They're a very good football program and very deserving. I think every year Louisiana Tech is going to be there, North Texas is going to be there. It's a competitive league. Southern Miss is always going to be competitive. I just, in passing, looked at the 25-year anniversary of the first Hall of Fame, if you will, and Jeff Bauer and my what good teams he's had over the years when he was the head coach at Southern Miss. And so year in and year out, you're going to have teams that are consistently, our intentions are always to be in that talk, to be at the top or echelon of Conference USA, of Conference USA West, vying for position. Although we're a relatively young team in regard to other teams in the conference, we're at a point now where consistency is something that we can etch ourselves in being.
So it could be a pretty wide open deal in the West.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think there's one team is much more dominant than any other. I think each week teams have an opportunity. I mean, you look at Rice and UAB a year ago, or UTEP. It was one hell of a game for a half for sure. Yeah.
It's been outside of North Texas. It's been a rough go for some of the Texas teams in Conference USA the last couple of years. You guys, Rice and UTEP, finished in the bottom 3 spots in the West, and it's kind of Texas is a football state. Do you think eventually that your school and those other Texas schools outside of North Texas will eventually grow as programs and be more competitive?
Yeah. Well, last year was our first time finishing at the bottom half. Mm-hmm. 2 years ago we finished second, and the other year we were at the top half. And so that has not been a consistency for us. So it was rare to be at the bottom half in our tenure here.
Yeah.
In the short time that we've been in the conference. And UTEP and Rice, I'm not sure of the length of what they've done. I know at times they've had very good teams. I respect both of those coaches and think they have quality staff and teams.
Yeah, so you think that that's kind of more of a one-off? You think that these Texas teams are going to be competitive down the line in this division?
UTSA will be.
Frank, do you feel like you have to get to 6 wins this year?
I think the 6 wins is the minimal standard for us. Yeah, I think we have to be able to put ourselves in position to compete in a bowl game.
What does being in Conference USA do for UTSA?
Opposed to?
Well, is it a good fit for the school? Do you get something out of being in this league as a whole?
Oh, certainly. I think from a regional standpoint, you look at the teams in our conference, as we were just talking about, with Rice, with UTEP, with North Texas. I think it's an ideal fit for us. I think it's a fair market or fair level playing field when you talk about opponents and coaches alike. I enjoy Conference USA. I do think it's a good fit for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
I'm a big fan of the initials here. I'd say good luck.